Recording live from Glory Hole Studios in Chicago and beyond. This is Cognitive Dissonance. Every episode we blast anyone who gets in our way. We bring critical thinking, skepticism, and irreverence to any topic that makes the news, makes it big, or makes us mad. It's skeptical, it's political, and there is no welcome mat. This is episode 650 of Cognitive Dissonance.
650, baby.
650, my friend. It's starting to tick toward.
It's coming close, man.
That 666 number. I don't know what we're going to be able to do.
We're going to have to kill a chicken live on air.
Can we swirl it around? Or isn't that it? Can we put our sins in it?
That's not Satanist, though. That's
Jewish or something.
Jewish, I think.
What's the one where you put your sin in a chicken?
You put your hey now.
I'm going to need a bigger chicken.
Hey now. I'm going to need a smaller chicken.
I'll tell you what. That chicken will be finger licking good. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'll tell you this. That is a terrifying ritual. I'm a meat eater, man. So I've killed hundreds, if not thousands of animals indirectly in my lifetime, right? But that is a little bit.
That's a little, look.
That's a little.
We've gone hunting. We've gone hunting. We've gone bird hunting. We've gone deer hunting.
Yeah.
I'm okay with sort of removing that veil of separation and doing the dirty work myself. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I am not like, I'm going to put all my fucking sad thoughts in a bird and then whip it around my head.
Your head. Yeah.
And then
that gets Jesus's attention.
Right?
when you Yahoo the bird.
Dude, there's got to be a moment when you're like, I put my sins in a chicken. And you're like, oh, I hear me.
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck.
You know what?
You know what I've been doing my whole life?
Wouldn't it be funny, like you put your sins in the chicken just explodes?
Yeah.
Just boom. Then I would believe that magic was real.
The chicken looks at you, he's like, is that all you got?
Bark. It's like, then it starts flirting with you a little, like it's into it. The chicken like looks up, it's like, bark.
It's like flapping that little thing underneath its jaw.
It's wiggling its waddle at you.
Whatever it is.
Fucking hell, man. 666 is coming, though, buddy.
I don't know what we're going to do. You know, it might be. So this week we had our first meeting about Vulgarity for Charity. And if you don't know what Vulgarity for Charity is, every year we team up with Scathing Atheist guys and we do a charity roast where we select people donate to modestneeds.org, which is Modest Needs is it's one of these very specific charities that help people that are just sort of out of the range of help. Yep. Most help is for people who are much more worse off than people in Modest Needs. The people in Modest Needs might have lost their job and then they can't pay their electric bill. And so Modest Needs will pay that electric bill. They'll cut out the middleman. Right. They don't give the money to the people. They vet the sources. And then they say, hey, yeah, we're gonna reach directly out to the electric company and pay your electric bill for you once they collect the money.
It's a genuinely beautiful organization run by one of the best people we've ever known.
One of the best people. Yeah, absolutely, genuinely one of the best people too, their president. And so we have had much success over the many years. And we had our most recent conversation, what we're planning on doing. We're going to do pretty much what we did last year. And so it turns out that right around the time that we finish up our 666 episode will be about the time we finish up, or maybe about a month later or so, when we finish up the Vulgarity for Charity. And so it might coincide.
Oh, there might be some
there might be a live stream show.
A synergy.
Or there could be
a synergy.
A corporate synergy.
A synergy. Whenever you do synergy, you got to do the hand claspies. You got to do the hand claspies.
Yeah, the hand claspies. But in any case, that could work out for us. And so it might be, we're talking now about doing a live stream to wrap it up. And so it might be that, a secondary live stream might be us doing a live stream for 666. I know we talked about getting somebody on from the Satanic Temple, and that hasn't happened.
I just want to say that, now that Trump's leaving office, I think it's important to remember that he was the president, so we should show some respect. Pussy clot. Fuck them, Ross. Donald no one around but big boss man Biden. Fuck them, Ross. Pussy clot, boy. Go suck una mother.
So this story comes from Huffington Post. President on hot mic with Florida official no one fucks with a Biden. I did read this story. So Biden is down in Florida, and he's meeting with people after Hurricane Ian. God damn it, Ian. He's down there meeting with people after Hurricane Ian. And he's just caught on a hot mic, and there's no context around it at all.
No.
And I love that the news has picked this up because it's meaningless.
Yeah.
You have no idea what it means, but he gets picked up saying, no one fucks with a Biden. And then the mayor is like, goddamn right.
Yeah. Well, the mayor's a Democrat.
Right.
So they're clearly, he's shaking hands with a guy who's in the same political party. They're doing their, I just saw you. We happen to know each other from these two political parties.
Right.
So we're just talking sort of thing. And they're like, hey, nobody fucks with the Biden, right? And he's like, you're goddamn right they don't, and so that was it, It's just like, and it's a nothing. It's a literal nothing. But the right, again, doesn't like it. They hate it. And this is the best because
they don't want a president that brags.
They don't want a president that swears.
A braggadocious president. Oh me, oh my. Oh me, oh my.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we can only say we're like vulgar words, but they have to degrade women too.
Oh, yeah,
grab her by the pussy.
Right. I forgot.
That's okay, but nobody fucks with the Biden. Okay, now they're crossing a line.
That's it. Outrageous.
Crossing a line.
What I think people sometimes forget about Joe Biden, because Joe Biden, he's got this he's a genuinely, I think, empathetic human being, right? So he's stood up many times, and throughout his entire career, he's been very consistent.
Yeah.
He's a genuinely empathetic human being. And I think he reaches out to the American people and to other humans and tries to say, but the dude's also got a fucking set of brass balls. If you remember from when he was doing town hall meetings and somebody was challenging him on his physical fitness, he's like, let's drop and do push-ups, bitch. Do you remember that?
What's funny, though, is that he's also kind of like...
He's got a little flex to him.
He's also got a little bit of regular guy in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of polished politicians out there that will be very, very proper all the time. When I think about a polished politician, I think about Obama.
I think about Buttigieg.
Yeah, Buttigieg is another perfect
polished,
example. Very
bro.
Polished. But he's... And look, don't get me wrong. I don't like people with no polish because our last president had zero polish on him. He was literally an id.
You know why?
Yeah.
You can't polish a turd.
Yeah, no.
It's a thing. There's a whole sentence
There's
about
a whole
it.
sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you had a drywall rasp, you could probably. But in any case, he's also kind of got that sort of regular Joe stuff that happens because he's Joe.
He's a Joe.
He's a regular Joe.
If he were a plumber, that'd be the only thing. If in a former life, but I do love that he's like the septuagenarian president. Just like every once in a while, he'll fucking hard flex. He'll be like, drop and do some push-ups, you motherfucker.
He has been on a tear. Here's another story, Tom. This one from the New York Times today. This afternoon.
This blew up this afternoon.
This afternoon, Biden pardons thousands of people convicted of marijuana possession under federal law. So it's a federal pardon.
Right.
And this is possession only, right?
Yeah, simple possession.
Simple possession. But he went through and was basically like, there's thousands of people in the federal system right now.
From 92 to 2021, he's like, look, I can't control the states.
Yeah.
But I control, right? So, because he can't. Illinois did this. And I will say, Illinois did this, and then they also expunged the records of everybody who had a prior conviction.
That's amazing.
So when Illinois legalized marijuana, Illinois was also like, great. Also, you know what? If we convicted you, that was our bad, and that's gone. He's actually encouraging governors in the states to follow suit. And he's basically said, look, this is an absurdity to have a conviction, to have people rotting in jail, to have people living with these records that are felony records, these records that make it harder for you to get a job, that make you seem to certain people less trustworthy for something that is now a silly recreational dalliance.
It's illegal in multiple states, right?
Many states. Isn't it most at this point?
I think at this point it's most. I thought there was 20 or so states that haven't followed suit, but many states have either decriminalized it or have made it completely legal. And there's also the range of legal to like medical marijuana and things like that.
Yeah,
I don't even know if that's
the
a thing
laws
anymore,
are,
to be honest. But in our state, it's perfectly legal. And in many states around us, a couple states around us, and then there's multiple states on the East Coast, and so it's getting more and more so that it's just not a crime in certain places.
Yeah.
And it would be, think about how weird it would be to have a federal alcohol possession crime when much of the states had alcohol. You know, it's just a silly thing to do. And so it's a good thing. And clearly, I think Biden has paid attention to the polling of what's going on.
Yeah.
And all of these things are very much calculated. This is all calculated.
The timing is not accidental.
And it's smart. It's a smart politician's thing to do. He came in, tried to get a bunch of stuff done, and then like a lot of stuff couldn't get done or nobody was willing to pick it up. Nobody was willing to move it. And because of the filibuster, everything's locked down. So he's just starting to do stuff that he can.
Yep. Yeah. And I think you're exactly right. I think the timing is important here. It's, you know, if you look at Biden's overall record, he's gotten an enormous amount done. Like there's actually a tremendous amount of accomplishment, but there's no politician in the world that is actually going to get done everything they say they're going to get done. No. It literally can't. And we never should imagine that it could happen. And even though this is only for thousands of people, and that's not nothing, right? But all those people with state records, all that shit needs to happen. What this also signals, though, is that there is very, very unlikely to be any significant federal resources at the DEA level to raid dispensaries, which is shit that was still happening. You know, DEA, because this is still a federally class 1 drug, right up there with heroin, and Biden has signaled an intention to move that out of that same classification system. The DEA occasionally, even in states that have legalized, the DEA has occasionally raided dispensaries, raided grow houses, given people shit. Yeah. If you own a marijuana business, you can't get a bank account. So like one of the things that makes these companies so vulnerable right now is, let's say you own a dispensary. All your money comes in cash. You can't take credit cards. You can take debit cards, but not credit cards. And you can't open a bank account. So you get this enormous influx of cash. Yeah. You can't go.
You can put it in like a safety deposit box or something, but nothing else.
You're running a cash life in a cashless world. Yeah. That is an inherently insecure position for you to be in. It also makes it harder for you to do things like prove your assets in order to get loans. Yeah. It is a transactionally difficult place to be in the world. By getting rid of that nonsense, we will really legitimize all of the businesses and then all of the businesses that sort of surround and support that industry. Yeah. It's a great thing.
And it's tax money that we can just keep collecting on and on. And it's smart. It's a smart thing to do.
Hi everyone. It's time for a review of the new Tropical Fuck Storm album, Deep States.
This story comes from Business Insider. Far-right pundits baselessly claim Hurricane Ian was created by the deep state to target Governor Ron DeSantis and other red states. They're angry with us.
Yeah, so we're gonna play this. This is from Right Wing Watch. This is Deanna Lorraine, and she's talking to Lauren Witschke, and they're just gonna have a conversation. Now, if we remember, Deanna Lorraine was on our show multiple times. She's a far right conspiracy theorist. Mm-hmm. But the person who was hanging out with Milo for a little while is this other lady.
Oh, that's Lauren the Milo lady.
And so she'll be the blonde who comes in later.
Okay.
But let's play this.
I love her fake backdrop.
Yeah, her fake backdrop looks pretty good. It's not as good as Alex Jones's backdrop.
Because that's real.
Yeah. So here we go.
We understand that the deep state, they have weather manipulation technology. They have DARPA. They know how to manipulate and create big storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, climate change, etc.
Now they think climate change is real, good only because we can DARPA it into existence.
Right. And guys, if you're not watching this, what she's got on the screen is, it says DARPA at the top of the page. Now I have no idea if this is DARPA's actual website, but I just need you to think for a second about the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Why would they even have a website? Like, they're created, like, that is insane. But if they had a website, it wouldn't be a website where they're telling you their secrets, because that's not how secrets work for governmental organizations. But okay, fine. Then she's got this thing, and here's what it says: creating breakthrough technologies and capabilities for national security. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's
your job.
That is a smoking gun, Tom.
That's your job. Nowhere does it say including hurricanes, bitch.
Including hurricanes.
I will shoot a hurricane at you. Love DARPA.
And these huge hurricanes always seem to target red states, red districts, and always.
That's because that's the fucking southern United States.
Lady,
do you know how positionally how hurricanes work?
Do you ever map? She's gonna say more crazy shit that belies her total lack of understanding of both geography, climate, and any meteorological. Look.
It's Alabama, it's Mississippi, it's Louisiana, it's Texas, it's Florida. All those solidly red.
Well, why aren't they hitting California?
Yeah.
Well, because that's the Pacific Ocean. It's colder.
They're not coming to Illinois.
Right. Well, it's like you've no idea how hurricanes are formed, what conditions are required, how a map works. Also, New York has been hit by hurricanes.
We're very recently, within the last, I would say maybe 5-6 years.
Hurricane Sandy didn't just give a little passing glance to New York.
It fucked it up. There's people who lost their house and shit.
But it's they're all going to be in the fucking Atlantic basin. Just how hurricanes work. This is how they've always worked, man.
It's like saying
they've never not worked that way.
It's like saying, they've clearly turned up the temperature on the southern states.
Yeah, right.
You're a dummy. You're just a dumb person.
Do you not know that it is warmer the further to the equator you are?
Okay. All right.
You don't, actually. You don't.
Right. Okay.
Is at a convenient time, typically right before elections.
It's hurricane season.
Nobody planned out the move election day.
Here's the thing. We put our election time in hurricane. Hurricane season was happening before people were a season. Hurricane season has been.
We made that decision.
Right.
We made that decision in whenever the fuck we decided election day was going to be.
The fucking what?
That's amazing.
Or, in this case, possibly because Ron DeSantis has been stepping out of line a lot and fighting the deep state. I don't know, Lauren. The timing is definitely interesting.
The timing is suspect.
The timing is literally to be expected.
The timing is suspect, Tom. It's right in the middle of hurricane season. That's suspect.
In the middle of the time when you would expect this to happen.
Crazy.
This is what happened.
Insanity.
Also, dude, every time fucking bad weather happens, they've got to blame it on some ideological cause. Oh my God, there was a gay pride parade in California and a hurricane hit Louisiana. And you're like, what?
It's so exhausting, man. It's just it's the same argument over and over, except for now they've shifted. So before it used to be the crazy spaghetti lady was I was sitting outside of my church and I just prayed and I wished over the spaghetti and God pushed the storm away from my
God,
congregation.
I remember that.
But it went on down the street and it killed 100,000 people. But anyway, my congregation was fine. But that lady who's talking about how God is doing this stuff. But now we've shifted. And now it's a deep state has a technology. Before, at least you could be yeah, man, nobody knows what, you guys don't even know your God's power. Your God's power isn't even mapped out.
Right.
But in this case, you're just come on, man. If you had the power to change the weather patterns on the United States, you would have no reason to have global warming because you could literally control the temperature of the entire world.
If the deep state were run by a bunch of fucking Democratic operatives, why would there be fucking droughts in California?
Right?
I honestly, and I mean this, this has got this, if you hear this message, I want to exclude the messenger, right? Because I think the messengers are always dishonest.
Sure.
But if you hear this message and this resonates with you, how did you manage to not even accidentally become educated enough to see this as bullshit?
Right.
I'm not saying formally educated, but just by fucking proxy or fucking osmotically, you never managed to figure out that there's a hurricane season?
Never.
The fucking, how fucking deep is your fucking hole that you have to live in that you didn't even accidentally learn this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be a weather manipulated hurricane.
Yeah, well, we know the technology does exist. And in Indiana, they're literally trying to change people's DNA through vaccination. Of course, they would be willing to do something like this to target red states. I have no doubt. I mean, the technology exists to manipulate weather. And, this whole storm coming, I mean, I know that Florida is
storm is coming.
The storm is coming.
The
storm is coming.
Prone to hurricanes. However, this developed into a Cat 4 or Cat 5 overnight.
Cat 4, not a Cat 5.
It does seem to be hitting the conservative areas of the state.
It's Florida. They're mostly conservative areas.
It developed quickly because of climate change, because the surface temperature in the ocean, in the Atlantic basin where this formed, was 87 degrees, Cecil. That's an enormous temperature. It creates a huge amount of potential energy for the storm to go from a tropical storm to none of this is unknown. Yeah. All of this is literally to be expected.
Right.
What the fuck?
What's crazy is in order to believe this, you have to believe. I think you would have to believe. I don't really know the depths of her conspiracy. But what I do know is that you would have to believe that every weatherman out there is lying to you.
Yes.
Every single one.
All of them.
Every single one. Because if not, then the deep state is tricking all of them too.
Yeah. Also, how do they, I just want somebody one time ever to posit to me how these weather machines would work. Because they have to be powerful enough to produce like trillions of joules of energy.
It's so much energy.
It's like you had to create a hurricane and then to guide it like a fucking precision munition. So, but nobody's ever seen this machine. Nobody's ever wouldn't it be enormous? Wouldn't the lights be like?
Let's take the Death Star as in the movie. They power this fucking moon up, and this moon shoots Endor, and it explodes. Right? It explodinates. But like think about how big that thing is. Right. And I know it's sci-fi. So it doesn't matter, right? It's bullshit anyway. It's all bullshit. But like at least in that movie, the guy's just like, yeah, it's not like a box. Like,
yes,
it's not just a big ship. It's a moon.
If weather manipulation technology on this scale worked, it also, you have to assume that it is also invisible.
Yeah, it's invisible.
It's literally magic.
It's our moon.
Yes, right. The fuck? Oh, we know it exists. We know it is because we said it does.
I'm not putting it past the elites to target something like this towards Florida as punishment for getting rid of vaccine mandates or getting rid of child grooming. They are angry with us, and it wouldn't surprise me to find out. And yeah, the technology does exist, but you're not supposed to talk about that or know about that because that's controversial or a conspiracy theory. Now,
it is a conspiracy theory because you're a crazy person.
Literally conspiratorial.
Also, you're one of these bigots who loves to throw that grooming thing in because you hate gay people.
Yep.
You're an awful, terrible person, and I only wish the worst things for you. I really do. I only wish the worst things for you.
Water solves everything. If you're thirsty, just drink water. Trying to lose weight? Just drink water. Trying to get clearer skin? Just drink water. Have a best friend that stabbed you in the back? Drown them with water. Hello?
This is good news. This comes from Ars Technica. Walmart and CVS face trial for putting sham homeopathic products next to real medicines.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen this.
Yeah,
you go to the drugstore.
Yeah.
And you go to like the cold medicine or like, I got to take a shit or I'm shitting too much aisle or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's full of like stuff that works and then just like random jib jab, garbage, like nonsense.
Filtered in. It's in the middle of all of it.
And there's no differentiation. Like there's no like, when you go to the CVS, at least, that's what I go to usually. It's one of the closest to my house. And like my work has an agreement with CVS through my insurance. So like that's where I have to go for stuff. When I go to CVS, typically like there's not like a great big dividing line that says works, magic.
No.
But there should be.
Like, clinical, but not.
Yeah. Like studied and works versus like
water.
Cross your fingers.
This is sugar water.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is great. So they're basically suing both of them. They're basically identical lawsuits for both Walmart and CVS, two of the largest retailers.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
And the hope is to just sue them until they pull the fucking magic garbage nonsense dragon spit or whatever off the shelves.
You want to move this shit to on the far corner of the store by the nail polish. Cool.
Fine.
You want to put this stuff down the end of the kid aisle or the seasonal aisle or the soft drink aisle.
Yep.
You do what you want. But the moment it enters the fucking the real medicine area where I'm looking for real medicine, get it out of there. Same thing with supplements. The supplements, there's a whole aisle of supplements in every one of these stores. It takes up more space than much of the medicine.
Yeah, well, at least in the supplements aisle, typically that aisle is labeled supplements.
Yeah,
and so you can just
says it. Yeah.
So you can just be like, oh, that's not for me, and just walk past it. The homeopathic shit should be in the same aisle. Be in the same, if you're gonna sell that nonsense.
Yeah. And it should be labeled as such.
Right. It's funny because I think of like Marshall McLuhan's like phrase, right? The medium is the message. And so when you walk down an aisle full of medicine, the medium here is that aisle. Mm-hmm. And the message is, these are all medicines.
They're effective. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's selling you this idea of efficacy and trust and like approval processes. If I go buy Tylenol, like Tylenol's well studied.
Yeah.
I can read 1 million fucking PubMed articles on Tylenol and figure out what it's good for and its toxicity and its toxicology effects. And, I can figure out stuff about Tylenol. If I go and get fucking random Joe's super awesome snake oil juice, I get nothing. You literally can't even look that shit up.
Yeah, you can't get it. And then studies after study after study has shown shit like homeopathy is garbage.
There's nothing in it.
There's nothing in it. It's literally it's the stupidest idea sold to gullible people.
Yep.
That's literally what it is. The water has some sort of weird resonance memory in it. It's the dumbest shit in the world. It makes no sense, and it's never once ever been tested to have any kind of effectiveness. Not once.
Even though it has been tested.
Been tested multiple times.
So many times.
Across the world. There's been study after study to show you it's not effective, period. It should not be in the same aisle as Tylenol.
Yeah. I don't even know that it should be in the same store.
It just should.
Like,
you're right. Yeah.
I feel like if you want to go to your fucking local Fruitful Yield or whatever, and you want to go to the fucking supplements and juju aisle, fine. I don't care, but it shouldn't be in an aisle or in a store that is there to sell. Like, I shouldn't be able to pick up at my pharmacy something that works and is studied and like I can understand, and then also fucking magic potions.
Yeah.
This is magic potion.
It is.
The only way it works is by wishing at it.
It's a magic potion. It absolutely is. It'd be like walking into your doctor's office and on your way out, you go to see a guy who burnt some sage and rubbed it on your face.
This is thoughts and prayers for $13.49 a box.
Exactly. $14 a dollar, $14 a bottle or whatever. And then it is always like a buy one, get one free that you don't qualify for.
Yep.
Every single fucking thing in there. I look at it and it's like false advertising, because you either have to have like a special card or it's this one and then these four over here that you didn't see. And it's the worst.
CVS does that shit all the time. Like, it's like, buy one, get one of equal or lesser value of qualifying products, assuming you bought 17 qualifying products from this category list only. And you're like, what? I'd have to fill my cart with like all kinds of weird, random Monopoly shit. Like, okay, I got Connecticut Avenue and Marvin Gardens and
I own all the railroads.
Right. Okay. So now do I get buy one, get one free on Caramellos?
Do I get a house or no? No house? Okay. No, but like the worst part is that the biggest number and the one in yellow is the one you don't get. Right. So like, it's not like it's just a number on there. It's the biggest one on there. It'll say like $8. And you go to the thing, they're like, that's $55. You're like, why? I thought it says $8. Oh, that's only club price if you buy 60 other things.
Right, yeah. You have to buy stock in the store. Yeah. You have to work here for 45 days.
And you have to give me a handy.
And fucking look me in the eye while you do it.
Look me in the eye, yeah.
This story is, it's actually from Reddit, so we can listen to this guy. This is the Utah governor, Spencer Cox.
Spencer Cox. Wow.
This is real.
Here we go, man. All right, Spencer, what you got for us?
I've already asked all Utahns to conserve.
Utahns. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
If you cut them open, you can hide in them in the winter. It's a Utah.
I don't know what I expected. Utah-nonians doesn't really work.
Utonians.
Utahnites. Utahnites.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's all awkward. Kind of like everyone from Utah.
Unitarian? No, that's different.
No, very much not.
That's different.
Yeah.
Conserve water by avoiding long showers.
I love that he's at Gov Cox.
I also love his Gov Cox. I love too that he phrases it as avoiding long showers rather than not taking long showers.
Just avoid them.
You're just like, holy shit, is that a long shower?
And you dodge. You like jump out of the way. Yeah.
Fixing leaky faucets and planting water-wise landscapes. But I fear those efforts alone won't be enough to protect us.
Because they're not anywhere near enough.
Well, because essentially, it's probably corporations that are the ones that are using most of the water anyway.
I was gonna say, it's so funny how like all the onus for conservation always falls on the everyday person that accounts for like 35% of water usage.
Yeah,
like when I think back to when I was I used to make beer as a hobby. So I made the amount of water that goes into something like domestic beer production, for example, is immense. It's absolutely immense. It's enormous. There's so many like industrial processes that just don't have to happen in Utah, man.
Yeah.
They could just happen somewhere else.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is like there's so many different places that are taking water for, and you're right, they are companies that just like suck this water right up. And there's never this, it's always so funny because when you hear this, it's the same thing when it comes to emissions. Yeah. You know, the emissions are spent mostly in this planet by companies. Companies do like the vast majority of emissions. Regular people do too, but it's such a tiny amount in comparison. But they're always talking about, well, you need to drive less. Yeah. Well, you need to do this. You need to wash, your darks with your lights or whatever it is that they're telling you this week that you need to change. And don't get me wrong, I think that I think in some ways conservation is also about awareness in general, right? Sure. So when you're doing it, you're aware of it, and then you're talking about it, and there is a necessity to it. It's like wearing a ribbon. When you're conserving water, you're thinking about it. You're like, oh yes, I should do this because it's the right thing to do. Right. It's helping other people out. It's making sure we have water for tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And so I think that there's a use in it, but I don't think it is getting more water.
No, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's about like changing how we think about things so that we can finally hold the corporations.
And also, like, you're the fucking governor, man. You can change your fucking zoning laws.
There's a lot you could do as a governor.
Yeah. Like, you're asking people to, like, not take a long shower, but at the same time, I happen to know because I was reading about the drying of the Salt Lake City. And so, like, you could restrict zoning in and around certain areas so that you don't build enormous amounts of housing and industry in areas that are fucking water scarce.
Yeah.
But instead of like taking real pragmatic action in ways that matter, it's just like, you know what? Maybe just wash your ass in your pits and get the hell out. But
he does have an ace up his sleeve, though.
He does. I'm sorry.
He does have an ace up his sleeve.
I'm being too critical.
Because there is the governor can make laws, right? We figured that out. The governor can make laws, and the governor can ask people to help.
Right.
And he can also do this, which is a big deal.
This is huge.
Big deal.
We need more rain, and we need it now. We need some divine intervention. That's why I'm asking Utahns of all faiths to join me in a weekend of prayer.
I love this.
June 4th through the 6th.
June 4th through the 6th.
By praying collaboratively and collectively, asking God or whatever higher power you believe in for more rain, we may be able to...
What? I have so much to say. You go first.
Here's what I want to say. I hope a troll group out there starts praying not for rain. That's what I hope happens. I hope the Satanists start saying, we're going to sacrifice a sin chicken so that there is no rain or whatever.
First of all, I love this because Utah needs snow, actually. And the majority of the water that they get comes from melted snowpack. So what they actually need is fucking snow, not rain. But fine, I'll give you your fucking rain. But I love when he's like, yeah, I don't care what God will do it.
It doesn't matter.
Like, it's fine.
At this point, look, I'm cashing all my chips.
It's just, I don't know what you believe in. It's sort of like, you know what? I'm looking for this restaurant. I don't know if it's on DoorDash or Uber Eats or Grubhub.
Yeah.
I'm going to look wherever I can look. I really want that chicken. So whatever the fuck, I don't care who gives it.
I don't give a shit.
Baphomet, fine. If it's a fucking Mormon fucking have 7 wives God, fine. I don't give a just give me some rain.
And what the best part about this is this guy is looking deadpan, dead ass into the camera and being like, I literally don't care. I'm ready to I'm ready to handshake anybody who can make a fantasy happen.
I know, man.
This is wishing in the general direction. This is hoping.
How is this not terrifying when your leaders are like, so, we were thinking that like magic spells might be the only way out of this.
Do we do magic? Is magic allowed?
Holy shit, man. I'm all out of ideas.
Well, let's see. Let's see if he continues.
To escape the deadliest aspects of the continuing drought, please join me and Utahns, regardless of religious affiliation, in a weekend of humble prayer for rain.
That is the dumbest shit.
It's not going to work, bro.
Sure.
That's not how anything.
Yeah.
What you need to do is pray to the deep state for them to send their weather machine. Maybe they'll give you a hurricane up in Utah.
There's just some guy on a fucking on an aircraft carrier with a big gun. He's just shooting
like a t-shirt cannon.
But he shoots it, and then you just see category 1, category 2, category 2, and it just keeps going.
Some are saying that you're bipolar.
I'm bi-winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
This story's from Newsweek, and this is fucking awful.
This is fucking yikes, bro.
It's really bad. Dana Loesch, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Loesch, sounds right.
Do I care?
Sure. No.
Dana Loesch doesn't care if Herschel Walker paid his skank for abortion. Let me just read the actual. This is what this fucking horrible.
We can just play it. You want to play it?
Oh, that's true. I forgot there's an embedded audio.
Let's just play it.
Let's play it.
So here we go. This is
awful.
Dana
Loesch.
Loesch. Now she used to be the NRA chairman or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And then she stepped down or was kicked out. I don't remember. But she started her own show, and so now she has her own show.
Now she's awful independently.
Yeah. So does this change anything? I mean, do you want my opinion? You're listening.
No.
Not a damn thing. How many times have I said 4 very important words? These 4 words. Winning is a virtue. What I'm about to say is in no means a contradiction or a compromise of a principle.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Because you have your own principles.
Yeah.
Please keep in mind that I am concerned about one thing and one thing only at this point. So I don't care if Herschel Walker paid to abort endangered baby eagles. I want control of the Senate.
Are endangered baby eagles like worse, aborting them worse than babies for them? What's on the level of...
That's a great point. I didn't think about that.
On the level of, human atrocity to some fucking right-winger,
right, is
a baby eagle worth more than a human fetus?
That is it. Yeah. Like, how's your calculus on that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
because it seems like it's worse for her.
I think that's what she's saying.
She's saying like if she found out something like she's mad about abortion, but she'd be really mad about eagle abortion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a fucking eagle omelet, like that's a problem. That's a problem. I keep thinking
about the Eagle Man commercials that we used to have here.
Oh, I miss Eagle Man.
And so we used to have this.
Look at my low rates.
These commercials, and it was Eagle Insurance was the name of the company. And they would be the worst. They're the worst commercials. And there'd be a girl in a low cut top, and there'd be a sound, and she'd be like, "What was that?" And she'd get out of her car. And
Eagle Man.
And then Eagle, and it'd be a guy in like a fucking Eagle mascot suit. And he's sitting on top of the thing, and she's like, "Eagle Man," and he's like, "Burr-ka-burr," and then he shits out an egg, and then he hands it to man. It's not coming out of anything else but the ass.
No, right.
So he hands it to her, and then she's like, "Look at those low rates," and then she normally has the eggs. Like
right in front of her chest. Yeah.
So they look like boobs. And then she's like, look at these low rates. And she'd like shake her.
It was classy.
It was classy.
It was classy Chicago.
It was a local Chicago
80s,
commercial called Eagle Man. And I don't know.
Can you find it?
Maybe. Why don't we see if we can watch it? Let's see if we can watch it, Tom. All right, here we go.
Oh, the original.
What's that?
Do you have insurance on this car?
No.
It must be Eagle Man.
I've got something for you.
That's so weird. Whoa. Blurp. Blurp. forgot about that.
Look at those low rates.
Yeah, the later commercials.
The later ones, they held them in front of their chest.
Did the boobies, but that's the first one. So
that is the original Eagle Man commercial.
So he just aborted on that car. So. Hold on, Tom. Hold on. Now, this is only for people watching it. If you want to see this, you have to go to about 45 seconds into this particular clip. But I want you to watch her eyes, Tom, when she says this Eagle statement.
Okay.
Only at this point. So I don't care if Herschel Walker paid to abort endangered baby eagles. I want control of the Senate.
Here.
Man, she kind of does this thing where she looks at the camera like, what do you think of that?
What do you think of that?
And what do you think of that controversial, provocative statement?
The story is true. You're telling me Walker used his money to reportedly pay some skank for an abortion, and Warnock wants to use all of our monies to pay a whole bunch of skanks for abortions.
Holy shit.
So first of all, the federal government isn't in the abortion business. The federal government doesn't fund that stuff. That it just doesn't. It's already been part of our law in this country for decades that they don't fund
federal funds. Even federal funds that have gone to Planned Parenthood are specifically accepted from use.
They can't use
for abortion.
They can't use it. So federal funds never go to it. So it's a stupid argument anyway to say that somehow Raphael Warnock, who we helped get elected.
We did indeed. You all did.
You guys, everybody did. You know, we everybody who listened and who donated it did. But yeah, it's a bullshit argument. It's a lie.
And what the fuck is with throwing shade with the skank
also
stuff?
like she didn't get pregnant fucking on her own.
Right. So
what is he?
She's a skank, but Herschel Walker, who impregnated her, is somehow
he's a senator, motherfucker.
Fine. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's a senator.
Warnock is ahead by 12 points in polls.
And you hear I don't know that this is going to sink him, right? I'm not sure this is going to sink him, but it may be enough to pull some people off of him because there is a strong anti-abortion streak in this country in certain places. Sure. And in this
Georgia,
race,
100%. Yeah. What a fucking awful fucking I don't know what the term is, but when women throw that fucking misogynist shit around, it's just she's selling this to a male audience, right?
No, it's 100%.
This kind of language, just to call it for what it is, this kind of language is specifically capitalized for a male audience. Yeah. That's what this is for.
And yes, when they're used predominantly over 99% of birth control and it's my taxpayer dollars, you have invited me up in your business and I will.
Neither of those things are true.
None of that is true.
Neither of those are true, you fucking idiot. They're rarely used for that. And it's not your money. You don't even know what you're talking about.
None of every word was nonsense and lies.
It's a fucking lie.
Everything she says is just lies.
You're a fucking liar.
We'll use whatever descript I would like to. Thank you. So it doesn't change anything for me.
Yeah, because you're a giant fucking hypocrite. That's why it doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change anything. Yeah. Because, we recognize that I think she is telling the truth, that she is not going back on her principles. Her principles have always been whatever it takes for me to be in charge.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes for me to have power and control is what I want.
Yeah.
I think that there is an honesty there where she's looking at the camera and saying, yeah, look, I've always had no principles.
Yeah.
I've never actually been somebody who's cared about bigger issues. I am actually morally bankrupt.
Yeah. It's funny too, because if you think about this in any other way, right? Like if there's, look at how many people have stepped down in the Democrat side when something has come out about them in this case.
Right.
Al Franken is a perfect example. Yeah. He took a photo with somebody who didn't know he was there. He recognized it was wrong. He stepped down himself.
Yep.
He did it on his own. Yep. He was pressured, but he did it on his own.
But I think both of those elements are important, right? Because his party held him to account with pressure, and then he bowed to that pressure. What doesn't happen on the Republican side is the Republican Party does not hold their own to account.
No.
And then rather than holding their people to account, they always back their people. They always deny the claims. And then the people that are embroiled in these scandals instead just deny with the backing of all their buddies.
And they just get to lie.
Right.
And people know it. like, look, this is all set up right now where it's a Daily Beast article, and what we have is him denying it, and then a couple people saying it's true. I know it's just a Daily Beast, though. I think a lot of people have, they're staying away from this in the sense that they're saying the Daily Beast article says this.
Right.
And so I think we need to say that too. It's like, this is what the Daily Beast article says. Now, people are asking questions about the Daily Beast article, and all he's doing is denying it. But, look, he has never once, I think, come across as a person who is truthful, right? Like
Herschel Walker,
the entire time he's done this. And their party is known for lying. So make me believe you. Show me your receipts. Right. Well, show me your receipts. Right. Show me that it's a lie.
Yeah. The Daily Beast is saying in their article, in their reporting, that they have copies of the check. So they're not just saying like it's a he said. They're saying, look, we have vetted this information. Now, that information hasn't been vetted by any other source yet. I wouldn't be surprised if it were.
Yeah, it might
Daily Beast probably, to their credit, I would do the same thing. They want to own the story as a scoop and as an exclusive for a little while, and then they'll vet it out.
But I think it's important to be careful around it too.
True,
you know what I mean? Like, because all we have right now is one news organization that's saying this is true.
Absolutely.
All the other news organizations are saying they say it's true.
Yep.
And so it's important to point out, but like, so far, all he's done is say it's a non-story. And they're like, yeah, but what about the proof that's there that they've shown? And he says, yeah, well, and he just like, he immediately stops talking. There is film of him talking, and he's getting asked these questions by MSNBC. And he says, it's not true. And then they keep going, and he's like, I'm going to go to a different question. Well, he like keeps on trying to get away from it, and they won't stop.
And and his own son has come out and been like, my dad's a piece of shit.
Yeah, man.
My dad's just a piece of shit.
They asked him questions about that, and he's like, I always love my family. And he's just like, on to the next thing. And you're just like, okay, well, and it's clear, all he wants is to get elected. What I really wish is that there was a moment that they could ask him a single policy question.
I know, because this guy is dumb as a box of rocks.
Just ask him anything about any law, about anything ever. Ask him about a procedural question.
This guy genuinely seems like a weird sacrificial lamb for a seat they knew they were never going to take back.
It's unbelievable. And the amount of fucking airtime this gets across the country.
Oh, it's huge.
Warnock, I hope wins this. I hope he wins this. This is one of those places, though, that they're pointing to say that this is a battleground for the whole country.
Right. Yeah, it might be one of those bellwethers. Yeah.
Hello, I'm a piece of garbage.
This story comes from LGBTQ Nation. GOP candidate accused 30 schools of accommodating furries. The schools are calling her out. So this is Heidi Ganal. I don't know how her last name is pronounced because I've just read it. I've never heard it. But she came out and said this crazy nonsense the other day about how, these schools are being forced to accommodate kids who are identifying as cats and dogs, and they're eating out of dog bowls, and they're dressing as cats and dogs.
Going in the cat box.
Right. Yeah. They're like shitting and pissing in cat boxes, and schools are having to accommodate this. Oh my God. And this is just what this is transphobia.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just transphobia.
This is a hyperbolic, ridiculous metaphor for transphobia. It's like, oh, look how far the world's gone.
Yeah.
It's now kids are showing up in their cats, and the teacher has to be like, meow, 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 and give them a saucer of milk. And the schools that she names, all of the schools, are just like, the fuck are you talking about?
I'll deny it because it's not true.
Nonsense.
Because it's not true. That doesn't happen. But you're right. It's all about alarmism, right? If you can get these, and what they're trying to do is a very popular way to argue against a point is to make a point that is absurd, right? So to compare it to something that is absurd, they're going the extra step by saying something absurd is happening, so therefore this thing is bad.
Right.
And so they're just making up a lie so that they can bolster their argument, which is, I want to be transphobic.
And it's so funny because that's literally the note that I have is that they've taken this metaphor to prove a point, and then they've just declared that metaphor to also be reality. And it's like, holy shit, you dumb motherfuckers. Do you not know this is verifiable?
Yeah.
That we live in a world where you can check the veracity of this information.
That's a thing. That's a knowable quantity.
Right. Oh, this thing is happening. Where? Over here. Well, we went there and it's not happening. Well,
but here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's not happening because look at the voter fraud thing. Like,
yeah, man.
They said voter fraud was happening. Everybody's like, look, it's not happening. Here we are. It's not happening. Like, it's happening.
Yeah, man.
And this is the same thing. It's like, there's cat boxes. Okay, but it's not happening. Go ahead and have a look around and be like, but it's happening.
Yep.
And it's what I want to believe versus what is real.
That's true, man.
And that's essentially, she's just playing into what I want to believe. And what they want to believe is that trans people are bad and gay people are groomers, and they want to literally dehumanize every single person that is not basically that is not a hit. What is it? A cis hat person.
Right.
That's essentially what they want. They don't want any kind of deviation whatsoever from that.
Yeah. No identity or sexual
none whatsoever.
Diversity whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
It's funny because you're 100% right. And I feel like I should have known better, right? Like I shouldn't have even made that, because it's like the point of the comment is the volume and repetition of the comment.
Yes. Yeah.
The point of the comment is never the veracity of the comment. It hasn't been now for 5-7 years.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 years at least.
Yeah.
Now you're right. 7, I think, is about where it's at.
About 2015, things broke down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
God damn.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
This story comes from The Independent. Liz Cheney is the sole Republican voice calling Trump out for his racist attack on Mitch McConnell's wife, Elaine Chao.
All right. So is the tweet in here? So I'm actually going to use the one from Yahoo here, Tom, because I think it's a little easier to get to, but I want to read the tweet. Now, this isn't a tweet. It's a truth.
It's a truth.
It's a truth from President Trump. And here's what he says. This is on his platform, Truth Social. This is what Trump said about Mitch McConnell. Is McConnell approving all these trillions of dollars worth of Democrat-sponsored bills without even the slightest bit of negotiation because he hates Donald J. Trump and I'm a giant narcissist and I can't get through a whole sentence without mentioning myself? And he knows I ad-libbed that part. That's not actually in it. And he knows I am strongly opposed to them, or is he doing it because he believes in the fake and highly destructive Green New Deal and is willing to take the country down with him? In any event, either reason is unacceptable and he has a death wish, must immediately seek help and advice, and it's advise, from his loving wife, Coco Chao.
From his China loving wife.
Oh, pardon me. You're right. I missed China on there. I don't know why. That's genuinely the most insulting thing. Must immediately seek help and advise from his China loving wife, Coco Chao. End quote.
Holy shit. This is unhinged, narcissistic, racist, it's misogynist nonsense.
It's also a threat.
It is.
It's also a threat.
Yeah,
I mean, like, let's not pretend that the president hasn't already used his words to whip up several crowds in the past and make them behave violently. So this is a threat. It's like, when somebody comes in and they're all bluster and they don't do anything and they're bluster for 100 days straight, you can be like, okay, well, if they come in and they're bluster, they're probably not going to do anything. Chances are they're not going to do anything. But if every single day they're bluster and they punch you in the face,
it's not bluster.
It's not bluster anymore. Now it's that physical attack. And here's the thing is he's proven that he can motivate these people with his words. And that is to say he has a death wish and then put it all in caps.
Yeah, man.
These are people looking for the tiniest scrap. They're like, he said the word 17. That's cute. I mean, these are people trying to put anything they can together.
Yeah, and he doesn't say he has a political death wish, right? He doesn't couch this as he doesn't ever want to get reelected again. Instead he has a death wish.
Yeah, he says death wish.
His death wish on there. This is unhinged. This is an unhinged fucking insane person who thinks he's still in charge. That's the other thing. He says you read this, you don't have to read between the lines. You're not in the government anymore, man. Yeah. People aren't making decisions because of you. Yeah. People aren't making decisions because of your approval or lack of approval or whether or not you hate something or oppose it. You're not the boss, motherfucker. You're retired, dipshit. You're busy defending your fucking legal woes down in your goddamn social club in the middle of Florida. Yeah. That's you now. Yeah, that's all you are.
You don't have a job here anymore.
You don't work here.
You don't get to come in and look in your inbox.
Right.
You don't get to do that anymore.
That's it.
Yeah.
God, it's so fucking awful.
It's so funny that it turns out it's only Cheney, right? It's only Cheney
that's calling this out.
And all the rest of them, Tom, all the rest of these people are quiet. And you're just like, he's saying, the guy who basically got you 3 justices in a row in one fucking term, He's saying that guy has a death wish because he's now pushing against him. How are you guys not all just saying, how is the right not saying, okay, I think that's the line. I think that's the one. Yeah.
How are you not like, I'm next? Look, you people have to like line yourself up behind somebody else. This motherfucker's out of power now. Yeah. He's divisive. The middle of America hates him. The independent voter hates him. He is poison. Everybody who has entered his fucking inner circle has been fucking lit on fire and thrown in the trash without any exceptions at all.
Yeah.
Look at, his boy Mike Pence, fucking thrown in the trash at the last minute. Mitch McConnell, his fucking eager lapdog. Bill Barr, his eagerest lapdog.
So many people.
They all get thrown. That fucking Cohen guy, Flynn. You could just keep naming people until you get tired.
Yeah.
They all get fucking thrown in the trash and their careers burnt and their houses fucking raised down upon them. And these guys are still like, but maybe he'll love me. Maybe he'll love me.
It's the sway he has over the populace. It's the sway he has over a group of people that they have counted out long ago, that they thought were never going to put a thing in their ballot box. And the reason why that is because they were never able to reach him before Trump. They weren't able to reach those people mostly before Trump. And so what they have now is a tie to people who can win them elections, and they don't want to sever it. They're doing whatever they can to keep that block of people who would be 100% disinterested in politics and not vote if it wasn't for him. And so what they're doing is they're trying to cultivate that relationship through him. And there's a few people out there trying to not take it from him, but at least trying to follow his lead.
Yeah.
But nobody is as brazen, and nobody is able to capture as many people as he is. And so they still want him around, and they still recognize that if they wrong him, it can be the end of their political career. And Liz Cheney is a fucking shining example of that. She
lost her shit.
And she is now, did it end her political career completely? No, not necessarily. But it definitely ended her political career as a House member in Wyoming.
It did. It absolutely did. And I know that you're right. And I recognize that as true. But it's also, I don't know, it seems like such a short-term strategy.
No, I agree.
It feels so fucking short-sighted and short-term. And I don't think that they've got the right itself motivated. I think they've got this weird fucking like tiger by its tail, fucking rabid dog, whatever metaphor you want to use. It's so dangerous. The people they are sort of riding on are such dangerous, crazy people.
Yeah.
They're crazy people.
So that's going to wrap it up for this week. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. If you can, do the like and subscribe and thumbs up and comment thing and share, because all that stuff is super important and that helps the algorithm. And so we very much appreciate it when you guys help us that way. Leave a comment below, talk to us. We do on occasion, we see the comments, but we don't necessarily always comment. But please, if you have a comment, please leave it below and help us grow this channel. We want to thank you for joining us this time. We are going to leave you like we always do with the Skeptic's Creed.
Credulity is not a virtue. It's fortune cookie cutter, mommy issue, hypno-Babylon bullshit. Couched in scientician, double bubble, toil and trouble, pseudo quasi-alternative, acupunctuating, pressurized, stereogram, pyramidal, free energy healing, watered downward spiral, brain deadpan sales pitch, late night info docutainment. Leo, Pisces, cancer cures, detox, reflex, foot massage, death in towers, tarot cards, psychic healing, crystal balls, Bigfoot, Yeti, aliens, churches, mosques and synagogues, temples, dragons, giant worms, Atlantis, dolphins, truthers, birthers, witches, wizards, vaccine nuts, shaman healers, evangelists, conspiracy, doublespeak, stigmata, nonsense. Expose your sides. Thrust your hands, bloody, evidential, conclusive. Doubt even this.
The opinions and information provided on this podcast are intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions are solely that of Glory Hole Studios, LLC. Cognitive Dissonance makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, currentness, suitability, or validity of any information, and will not be liable for any errors, damages, or butthurt arising from consumption. All information is provided on an as-is basis. No refunds. Produced in association with the local Dairy Council and viewers like you.